as you guys probably know by now, I have become a massive fan of Mrs. Green Apple, and I've been watching their stuff for quite some time now. And actually, I've seen some of you guys ask me to react to some stuff from lead singer, of course, Motoki. And I had honestly no idea that he was doing solo stuff, which is really cool to see. And so it just so happens that as you guys are asking me maybe do something like that on the channel, he released a brand new song under himself for solo stuff, if you will. So this new song he released is called Moyoshi, maybe something like that. I think we're gonna go with that. So I'm very excited to dive into this and see a different side of him. Hopefully it actually lets him kind of experiment with some different sounds, maybe and whatnot. Kind of leave that Mrs. Green Apple side to Mrs. Green, or that sound I should say, to Mrs. Green Apple, and lets him kind of explore something different. I'm not sure. Even if it's maybe even a heavy, maybe if he did like a heavy rock sound or something like that, or maybe went like more like a pop rock or something like that. Just something different. From what he does with Mrs. Green Apple. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and dive into this. I'm super excited to see what he has in store for us. So let's do his thing. Here we go. That's a bit different. I like that. Hell yeah. Ooh, yeah. It kind of honestly has a bit of the feeling of maybe some of that like old pop rock, honestly. Or not pop, no, more like punk rock. It has some like punk rock vibes to it. It sounds very similar to something that I would maybe listen to back in like the 2000s or something like that, which I kind of like. It definitely has a bit of a different sound than that of Mrs. Green Apple so far, which I really love a lot. Let's keep going. This is awesome. Hell yeah, there's our boy. Ooh. That's so fascinating. It's like his voice is doubled there, where it's like you hear his main vocal, but then he has almost this kind of very obviously heavily processed vocal behind it. But I can't tell. It's almost like there's a little bit of maybe a little bit of like very subtle auto-tune maybe? Let me see. Yeah, I think that's what it is. The delivery is very interesting too. It's a very almost like kind of the rhythm of like almost like rapping in a way, kind of like a or it's almost like he's kind of just bouncing around the production a little bit almost. It's really cool. Also, I gotta say, as a straight man, Motoki is a gorgeous human being. Like, he's just a good-looking Japanese dude. Like, I'm not afraid to say that. He really is. I mean, really, all the band members are. But, like, Motoki is just... He has such a very attractive face. And I feel like I'm probably not the only one who said that before, or even thought that, honestly. But yeah, I just have to say that. I gotta appreciate, as a man to a man, I have to appreciate him for his looks and just how much of a good-looking man he is, honestly. I have to show respect when respect is due, Ooh! Lots of auto-tune. Ooh! I got chills from that. I honestly, a couple things here. I love the simplicity of this music video where he's literally just walking down the street. That's clearly just a big old massive party, obviously, happening in the background. And it's so funny to like see like all these things, especially throughout the chorus, going on in the background. People walking around, like you can see an inflatable tube man back here. You see these guys partying, having a good time. This guy's about to walk by with some big old gold bow or something like that. This clown guy pops up in the corner down here for a second to drink some soda or something maybe and whatnot. And you just see all this kind of stuff like going on in the background, like people just partying, having a good time as he's just walking down the street looking like a badass and just singing to us. And it's really cool. It's like there's so much happening that it makes the music video appealing, but it's really not that much happening though. There's not like a bunch of crazy FX. There's not really a bunch of crazy CGI or anything like that. It's honestly a very clean and very real music video. And it feels like we kind of went back in time here. We got some really old school, cars, I should say. The outfits seem really old school. The housing and everything in the ceilings really old school. This feels like almost like straight out of almost like a, what would this be? Like maybe like a 90s or like a 1980s movie or something like that. Is what it feels like. So I love that aspect already off the bat. But if we go back to the singing, that auto-tune is crazy. And I really love it because it adds a different aspect to Montoki that I never thought I would see before. Because he has such a great vocal. You know, you almost think like, why ruin that with auto-tune? But the thing is, I don't think it's being ruined. I think it's being used as an artistic value to it. Because if you listen, when he hits the vibrato, I'm going to go back through the chorus again. I'll show the vibrato moments. It's almost like his vibrato is so good, I guess, or so strong that the autotune can't even keep up with it. So when he hits that vibrato, it's like and it sounds all bizarre and crazy, and you're like, oh, that doesn't sound good. But the more you listen to it, you're like, it almost sounds like it enhances in a way, because it adds a very dope artistic value to it that at first you're like, wait, does that work? Does that make sense? But it does, I think. I think that it just is a unique, very cool vocal aspect that he's added to himself. He knows he can sing. He's proven that with Mrs. Green Apple. So he thought, well, here, for this song, maybe just particular, he's like, why don't I mess around with some auto-tune and just see what happens? And I think that he knows, because he's such a genius, being a producer, being a composer, being a singer, being a writer and everything. He knows that it might sound jarring, but he knows that it still makes sense musically. So let's go back through the chorus again here real quick and listen to those moments where he hits that vibrato, and it sounds so wonky with the auto-tune, but it's a really cool effect when it comes down to it. It's dope. See? So cool. I love that riff. That riff is actually super nice. See, like the craziness of this music video. There's a hot dog stand over here, and then you got somebody being carried on a couch over here in the background. Like I said, there's so much craziness going on in the background, and I love that amongst all that, it's just him walking down the street singing to us. It's so fun. I love it. It's so cool. I honestly love that beginning. So cool. It's honestly a fucking great way to start off a song. The chorus, I guess. I love it. That time was actually a bit better. That's that. Okay, so it seems like the normal vibrato seems to work somewhat well with it. It's when he does the higher vibrato is when it kind of gets really kind of little. It sounds wonky, like I said, but it works, and I actually really love how it sounds. It's so cool. Ooh. This is cool. I like this. That was funny. It's kind of like almost like, oh, we were paying attention to what's in the background. He's like, nope, come back to me. Come back to me. Watch. It's great. See pants over. He's like, no, 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 come back to me. Oh, so good. Why is everybody running into him? What the heck? What is happening? Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Oh! Hell yeah, a little choreography? Fuck yeah. This is sick. Oh, my God. He's a great dancer. Oh, my God. What? That was so sick, actually. Wait a minute. I love this. We get a little dance break at the end like this? What? Let me... Wait. Oh my gosh, this is so sick. So freaking cool. Wow. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely did not know what to expect. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. I think it was like, I was hopeful that he was gonna still keep the rock sound because his voice works so well with that rock sound. But I was like, I don't want it to just be Mrs. Green Apple again, though. Like, I wanted it to be different. I think he nailed it. I love that we kind of got this very, almost like I said, 2000s punk rock sound out of him. But there's also still a bit of that Mrs. Green Apple feeling to it, I feel like. And it wasn't because of his vocals or anything like that. I think even just the production maybe itself. It still had a bit of like the Mrs. Green Apple feel to it. But I love the punk rock sound to it. It was really a nice change up to hear that kind of style with Motoki's voice. Like, it was amazing. This song is incredible. I love the simplicity of the music video. Like I said, I love that it was like we kind of went back in time here into like the 80s, 90s or whatnot. I think this is more 80s though, with the diner look like that. I think it's more 80s, I think, honestly. But like I said, the old school cars, the 80s feel with the diner and whatnot, even all these houses and stuff. It was really cool to go back in time, if you will, to like this time period that I never got to grow up in, which is really cool to see that being brought back to life in a way of all years 2026, you know. But really cool music video aspect, the simplicity of it, him just walking down the street singing to us with all this chaos going on in the background was so dope. I mean, again, his voice is so good, but to add that interesting element of auto-tune like he did was just enough of a switch up that he added that artistic value that really I truly love and appreciate him doing. Because I feel like a lot of times people can either go very wrong with auto-tune or it can go very right. Obviously, one of the best people out there to ever really work well with auto-tune would probably be someone like T-Pain. I mean, his use of auto-tune was always so spot on, so incredible, and he's just the king of it, let's be honest. And I feel like we really see it not very often, but we sometimes do see auto-tune used in a very artistic way in J-pop, sometimes in J-metal and J-rock, and sometimes even in K-pop, I should say. So yeah, it's starting to see the use of, you know, auto-tune more as not like, oh, somebody's using it to make themselves sound good or to be in tune, but more as this artistic value to the song or to the person singing, which is really awesome. So I love that we're seeing it being more experimental than it is being used as like a cure for somebody who can't really sing, if you will, you know. But yeah, honestly, I love seeing this side of Motoki. If there is more stuff you guys want me to dive into, Obviously, the Mrs. Green Apple reactions aren't going to stop. We're going to still keep diving Mrs. Green Apple. But if there's any like other solos from Motoki that you guys really like and you think I would love, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. I'll dive into it because this was really fucking awesome. I'm not going to lie. This is probably one of my favorite songs that I've honestly heard recently. Not going to lie. So yeah. But anyways, guys, with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe to the channel by clicking down below, and I'll go ahead and play some reaction playlists for Mrs. Green Apple over here, because obviously this is still Motoki. And then if you want to check out my most recent reaction, you can click that over here. As always, thank you all so much for watching and showing support, and I'll see you all in the next video. Alright guys, bye!